that woman?
Oh, she totally pegs you, doesn't she?
Oh, Satan. Is that right? Hi, I'm Kitty Monk. I'm here to talk to you about Helluva, or more specifically, Millie and Moxxie, and their relationship. Unlike most of my Helluva videos, this is not a ship. They are canonically married, and according to Aussies, have been for 1 full year, and counting. Speaking of, it's that time of the year. The time when it ends. Or at least it will tomorrow. But this is my last video of the year. That much is certain. To be honest, this was a pretty good year for me, YouTube-wise. On the one hand, my channel got a lot of recognition, and for the first time ever, I got tons of fan art. It's really cool, and it's all thanks to viewers like you. I also got to do lots of stuff I couldn't before, like meet the cast of Beetlejuice, or see the show on Halloween. And once again, I couldn't have done it if it were not for this channel. So massive TY, guys. Besides, we also got a lot of good cartoons. The Beavis and Butthead revival was hilarious, if off to a slow start. Dead End was great, and it's one of the first shows I want to review next year. Rick and Morty had one of its best seasons in years, excluding the meta episode. However, we also got a lot of bad cartoons. Released bad episodes of really good cartoons. For South Park, while we got episodes like My Teenager Hates Me, or the Credit Grey Weed Special, or even The Big Switch, we also got Pajama Day, which honestly should have been about the Met Gala. Helluva, unfortunately, is no exception. Don't worry, we'll get there when we get there. Ever since I started reviewing Helluva, I have gotten request after request to talk about Millie, and how some people don't like her character. In addition, I have also gotten requests to talk about her and Moxxie, a relationship most fans call M&M. And this isn't a fan-given nickname, like Starco or Lumity. The show even calls them that more than once.
Team M&M getting done, making the money.
M&M, get in here! We're going to Lululand!
What to do? I don't know. How's about we discuss? Helluva is a show focused on relationships. I mean, Stolas and Blitz is the show's main focus, outside of the team murdering people. However, whereas Stolitz is a toxic relationship that both participants secretly want to work, M&M is completely and utterly healthy. There's no strain to their marriage. They're both willing to support one another, and they work well as a team when it comes to getting stuff done. First and foremost, Millie and Moxxie are assassins who work for Blitz. Millie is a bloodthirsty killer from the Raff Ring, which is Hell's equivalent to the Boonies, while Moxxie is a musical genius who doesn't mind getting his hands dirty. Yes, it's opposites attract, but it still works. At the start of the show, Blitz idolizes them as a couple, viewing them as something he desperately wants and craves, but doesn't think he deserves. Since this is Blitz, he shows his admiration in many ways that deserve a restraining order alone. It's a good thing they're in hell. He often violates their privacy, intrudes in on their business, especially when they are not at work.
What you dreaming about?
Oh my gosh, it's my sleep paralysis demon. Moxxie, don't panic, just wiggle your big toe. While Moxxie is incredibly pissed, Millie sees no problem with it.
Come on, sweetie, it's not that big a deal.
Excuse me. What?
Like, I don't think she's ever gotten mad at Blitz once.
Yeah, that's not exactly how it works, ladies. Sorry, your fire doesn't really hurt us.
Well, I'll just shoot you.
That would be more effective.
Blitz!
Actually, scratch that, there was that one time. And when she's with him, it's never in a brown-nosing kind of way. But this extreme behavior is because Blitz craves their love, which to him honestly might be in a lustful kind of way, considering this comment.
But if you ever pull a stunt like this again, I will you and your wife.
Alrighty!
Some people have theorized that Blitz was the one responsible for setting them up, or Blitz was the one who gave Moxxie the push to ask out Millie. It's unconfirmed, obviously, but for now, I'm all for it. Now, I like M&M as a couple. However, this does not mean it is without issue. For lack of a better word, Millie and Moxxie are enjoyable characters in their own right, but can get to be a little boring.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, that's just the best word I can use. Boring. Especially when you compare them to anything involving Stolas. Moxxie, I like him. I relate to him the most out of the whole cast. Even if he's an insolent boy, a slave of fashion. As for Millie, while I appreciate Vivian Nixon toning down the accent,
Oh, come on. It's fun. Is Mox okay?
she can often just be there a lot of the time. But that's okay, sort of. Look, I don't enjoy many characters, but I'll still say they're fine in their own right, or the writing for them is strong. I'm not a big fan of Sandy Cheeks, yet she's still integral to SpongeBob, and I could not imagine the show without her. Characters do their jobs, and sometimes that's all I can say. However, while I'm mostly fine with Moxxie, there's a lot to unpack with Mrs. Mildred. One complaint Millie gets is she has no character outside of being Moxxie's wife. And honestly, I won't pretend it's not true. Name one thing this whole season, one thing Millie has done outside of her job or outside of doing something involving Moxxie. In Murder Family, Mrs. Mayberry hires the trio to assassinate Martha. Since Blitz can't just tell Moxxie, oh yeah, Martha cheated with a married man, so this is why we're doing it, piss hits the fan and Millie gets captured by Ralphie. Oh, there we go, that's something. Albeit she's saved by Moxxie.
You're not getting your goddamn paycheck for this one, Mox.
And earlier in the episode, she did try to get him to kill the target.
Humans are full of secret nasties. It's why so many of them end up here. But guilty and innocent aren't our business, Mox. Killing who we're paid to is our business.
In episode 2, she does like Lululand.
The prices do seem rather criminal. I mean, that much for a novelty cup that you use one time?
'Cause it's Lululand!
But Moxxie tries to win her a toy.
Oh, look, Moxxie! A thing!
Oh, you like that thing?
In Spring Broken, Millie and Moxxie go to murder the rest of the list after Blitz and Luna get into a fight. Oh, there's something. Moxxie gets drunk and mistaken for a possum. Yeah, that's pretty cute.
Moxxie!
Millie! Hi.
Millie also stops a giant sea monster, which was mutated due to Beelzejuice, with nothing but a sword in her bare hands. Although, in that instance, it was to save Moxxie. I guess she did at least get Veronica to back off. Hey, there's something.
Would be a shame if anyone found out you guys were behind a giant monster fish in the human world.
In the Harvest Moon Festival, we got to meet her family, who all hate Moxxie, even Sally Mae.
How pissed would you be if I bet on him dying?
Okay, I like Sally Mae. She's amazing, but she's a little overhyped. I'm sorry, guys. She was in like 2 scenes maximum. Granted, you can at least say they tolerate Moxxie, and Millie's dad was willing to hear him out.
Wow, he nodded!
In most shows, the in-laws would be pretty vocal about their hatred or try to do away with him. Part of me thought Millie's parents were gonna try and set her up with either Blitz or Stryker, and thank you, Busy Pop, for not going that route. Millie also got a bad butt moment when she stabbed Stryker in order to save Moxxie. He threw her into a basement, and then she motivated Moxxie.
But I can't break through it. I'm not strong enough.
Not with your hands, baby. Use what you're good at.
I'm not good with my hands.
Well, I know for certain that in Truth Seekers, she went on a blood-drenched bloodbath with Luna to save Moxxie and Blitz, who got kidnapped by humans.
You okay there?
What are you doing sitting there? The boys are in trouble! Open it again!
damn it, I sound like a broken record. In Cherub, Millie starts a fight with the titular characters.
So are you! So why don't you shut your trap, you judgmental cotton candy having?
That was pretty good. She's Millie, and we should hear her roar. Then her and Moxxie make out on the rope and do the nasty. Actually, how would that work? One wrong move and you're toast. Now, before you say anything, I don't think Busy Pop is sexist or homophobic just because Millie is as dull as a brick. Some fans just look at things surface level and or forget about her other works. In this show alone, Octavia is a strong character. Luna is pretty interesting whenever she gets a moment to shine. And Stella, I said it before and I said it again, but the show is still new. Maybe we'll see more of her down the line. However, from another perspective, I sort of get why Millie has what appears to be zero character. In Helluva Boss, everybody suffers from some form of toxicity or a problem. I mean, they're characters, and in story-driven shows, you expect them to have something they need to overcome. That makes for good storytelling. For example, Troop Seekers revealed that Moxxie suffers from insecurity, or at least telling people how he feels, even if he has no problem doing so in earlier episodes.
Well, why don't you take an art class?
Why don't you see how expensive they are?
Millie counters that because she has what seems to be an easy life, which is something you rarely get in Hell, regardless of rank. Her parents, even if they don't like Moxxie, still love her and support her, as do her siblings. She has a great husband, a great career, and overall, she's satisfied with her life. She has many admirable traits. But yeah, unfortunately, in a show like this, that can be a little boring. Mayhaps this could be a flaw she needs to work on, being perfect, which is something Chloe Carmichael should have overcame, or, being too comfortable, or being everybody's rock. She's there for everybody, but nobody's ever there for her. Season 2 could talk about this, but so far, they haven't, especially considering the episode Aussies. Guys, hello! That episode was ripe for character development. Okay, sorry, incoming rant, but I'm gonna try my hardest not to be cringy, like I was with the Jerry video. No promises. In this episode, Millie and Moxxie celebrate their 1-year anniversary at the titular club. Blitz, of course, wants to go, but Moxxie makes the point that he is not welcome.
The reservation is for us.
Uh-huh.
Just us.
Mm-hmm.
Without you there. Explicitly without you there.
One, Aussies only caters to couples, and while I'm sure Aussies doesn't mind polyamorous couples, M&M are solely monogamous. And two, it's their anniversary dinner, just the two of them. Sorry, privacy is a foreign concept to you. Blitz disobeys this direct order and follows them anyway. In fact, when the bouncer won't let him in, he tricks Stolas into taking him by lying and saying it's a...
Are you asking me on a date, Blitzy?
Oh, Stolas, no. Now, I know some of you might say this radical behavior kind of contradicts the previous episode. I don't see it that way. In Troop Seekers, Blitz learned through his high in a really nice chat that he was taking his employees for granted, Moxxie especially. He did care for him, he just did not know how to express it outside of teasing. However, he never learned it was wrong to break boundaries or overstep, or that people don't like it when you do either of those things. After their conversation, he acted like a protective teen dad, sort of like he does here, and everybody loved it. He probably figured he could continue to get away with it, or that everybody was fine with it, until reality bit him in the butt. At Aussies, Moxxie is humiliated because he tries to sing a slow love song at a club, all about banging and danging. After this video, I'm gonna go to a Metallica concert and sing nothing but gospel music. I'm sure that'll go over well, and I'll keep all of my eyeballs intact. No offense, but you did not think to do actual research? Fizzarali and Ozzy humiliate Moxxie. Wow, that really rhymes. And Blitz tries to come to his defense.
Hey now, I've watched those two pork many times.
What? Blitz?
And honestly, they make Missionary look relatively exciting.
In a way, it works because they start humiliating Blitz in Moxxie's place, and more people start to jump onto the I hate Blitzo bandwagon, including Verosica. And when they notice Stolas is his date, they further humiliate him and put their relationship on blast. When Stolas doesn't defend Blitz because honestly, Ozzy is higher than him, this hits a nerve. As the song ends, Millie knocks Fizz out so Moxxie can finish his song.
Think you were trying to sing something for me, Mox?
Yeah, I was.
In response, Millie and Moxxie get kicked out.
Oh, ain't that just such a happy display? It sickens me. Get the out.
You know, considering the setting, they're kind of lucky that the worst that happened was this. Anybody else, and they would have been killed. Blitz leaves too, as embarrassed as Fuzzy, and tries to set a new boundary with Stolas.
Stolas, don't act like what we have is anything but you wanting me to you, okay? You make that really clear all the time.
This inspires Stolas to divorce his wife, as he fulfilled his duty in making Octavia. And you don't stay married for the kids. Sorry, I got off track, but it's all important. Trust me, I'm not trying to hit a runtime. This takes us to the most recent Helluva Boss video, Seeing Stars. Honestly, I did not really like this episode. To be very truthful, I kinda used Millie and Moxxie as an excuse to talk about it, because it's my least favorite episode so far. Even Cherub, I did not care that Stolas wasn't in it. What was he gonna do to improve it? Don't get me wrong, I thought the episode had problems, especially in terms of cohesion, but it was still funny.
Hey, lovers, which one of you would this old man?
Helluva Boss is first and foremost a comedy, so they are doing what they're supposed to do. But Seeing Stars has many problems, especially for this show. And Millie and Moxxie are one of them, meaning I can kill two birds with one bullet. To keep this section from getting negative, let me start off by saying there are some things I like about the episode. The Luna flashback was really nice, even if it gave me questions.
She'll be out of our hair next month when she ages out. Good riddance, if you ask me. She'll never amount to anything much.
You know, this furthers my theory that if Luna wasn't adopted by age 18, they would have euthanized her. I'm just saying, Luna looked scared Shrekless when the headmistress made that remark. And with some shelters, if you don't adopt a dog by a certain date, they can put a needle in their back. Meanwhile, the scenes with Octavia and Luna were great. And Blitz talking about the child actress was probably the only time I laughed that whole episode.
Oh, you think this is funny? She's not fit to be a mother! I saw her doing lines of coke in her dressing room!
But that's all the praise I will give. Let's dig in, shall we? We open up with Stolas telling baby Octavia the story of Asimov's somebody's tears in extremely rare meteor shower that happens once every 1,000 years. He promises to take her to it when it happens, which for story purposes is today. Unfortunately, this happens to be on the same day that Stolas has to move Sella out of the house, as the divorce is about to take place.
What? Oh, I hardly think so. Knowing your mother, this will take all weekend. Don't be gentle about it now. Break whatever you have to get it all in there.
Okay, first off, this episode took the wrong approach. We already got this episode. Remember Lululand? Octavia thought her dad did not care about her, ran off, told him how she was feeling when he caught up, and then he promised to do better. Look, I'm all for sequel episodes, but you know who we haven't gotten an episode on yet? I said it in my Sella video, but we have no idea about Octavia's relationship with her mother. This is the most Stella has ever said about Octavia.
I'm glad one egg fell out of me so I could stop pretending to want to this scrawny twig up.
What? No, I'm not turning her against you.
Does Stella actually love Octavia? Or does she view her as a means to an end? Maybe she thinks of her as children should be seen and not heard. Meanwhile, Octavia's words never imply that she's upset that Solus cheated because it hurt her mother, rather that it made her home life unbearable. The episode could have been about that. Picture this. Solus said that in previous episodes, Stella takes Octavia and goes to who knows where.
You leave with Fia on weekends, but then you stay around the house despite everything.
Honestly, I think her brother's place, because she did mention him when Solus wanted the divorce, and where else would she go? Perhaps they could open up with Solus wanting to take Octavia to go see the meteor shower, but Stella intrudes. No, you don't get our daughter, Solus! It's my turn this week! Solus could protest, but then Stella puts her foot down and does it anyway. Octavia could get mad at both of her parents. Stella for ruining what was supposed to be a fun day and acting like a B-word once again, and Solus for not fighting hard enough. It would also give us a chance to see Octavia's relationship with her mom and possibly extended family. Maybe when we get to that place, we find out that Stella does not really care about her daughter, or Octavia is old enough, so why should she watch her? She just doesn't want Solus to be with his daughter, so she leaves Octavia all day or all weekend while she goes to hang out with her friends. And then Octavia sneaks away and takes the book. Or Octavia leaves of her own accord, and Solus, left with no choice, goes back to IMP to ask for help. Oh yeah, IMP! I almost forgot. This is a Millie and Moxxie video. I should stay on track. Now, this episode takes place likely the day after Ozzy's, or at least shortly after, let's say maybe a week. However, you would not know that if I did not tell you, because nobody freaking talks about it. Not Moxxie, not Millie, no one. Blitz doesn't try to avoid his co-workers or actively ignore them. Luna doesn't even make some kind of smart remark. You'd think Moxxie would be like, Blitz, I need to talk to you about what you did last night because that was way over the line, sir. Heck, even Solus doesn't say anything. Him and Blitz have no problem interacting. They don't put their feud aside to rescue Octavia. There's nothing awkward between them. You'd think Blitz would be wanting to avoid Solus like the plague, or trying to go back to the way things were. Sorry, it's a bit of a rant, but imagine if, say, you're watching the Owl House and you get to the episode Agony of a Witch. The episode which ends on a cliffhanger with Ida getting captured and Luce unsure of how to get her back or return her to normal. And then the next episode is Separate Tides, where everything is back to normal and they never say how because they just somehow resolve their issues off screen. This is how it feels. Besides, it would have made for some interesting story potential on all fronts. Maybe this undoes all of the development Blitz and Moxxie made in Truth Seekers, and Moxxie goes back to hating Blitz. Only because Moxxie learned it was okay to voice his opinion, he actually has witty comebacks instead of just whining like a baby. Millie especially should have gotten something to do. Maybe, for once, she's actually pissed at Blitz. She always tries to see the good in him, but this time, he went too far. We could open up with everybody mad at him while he's in his office, hungover, or reaping in the self-hatred. Then Octavia goes missing. Solus could call, it goes to voicemail, and he'll be like, Blitz, I know we aren't talking, and I know the full moon isn't for a few more weeks, but I would do anything to get my daughter back. And this inspires Blitz to help him. Blitz could call back and say, fine, but this is strictly work. But no, they're not mad. Blitz won't at minimum apologize. They're not even mad at him. Rather, it's because Luna is acting like a B-word.
Finally talk to her about her attitude with clients.
I just think some small tweaks might help you be more of a people person, you know?
I am a people person.
Which is funny, but how is this any different than what we've seen before? Octavia breaks into the office because Blitz has the attention span of a goldfish on meth, and Luna does not give a flying fig, and Octavia uses the Grimoire to get to Earth.
Take me to see the stars.
Only she isn't all that versed in magic, because, you know, she isn't the heir to a demon prince or anything. She ends up in Los Angeles, which in this world is called Holly's Wood. This gives me more questions. IMP sees her before she disappears, and since Blitz does not have a golden wiener, it's silver at best, he has to call Stolas and tell him the bad news. And like any concerned father, Stolas is disappointed and Blitz pissing bricks. Not because he just had a fight with Stolas, no. He's just worried about upsetting his sugar daddy, which is how he would have felt in any other episode.
Wow, that actually went better than I thought.
Okay, this was legitimately funny. Luna is able to determine that Octavia made it to California, which in this world is a burning, tourist-infested cesspool, not unlike Midtown in Manhattan. Thankfully, unlike Midtown, everybody walks at a fast pace and they don't stop at red lights, even the tourists. You know who you are. Of course, demons are not allowed on the surface unless they cover their tracks, so that means disguises! Dang, dude, you look like a snack. Really digging those sleeves. Now, previously on Helluva Boss, we learned just how serious it was that IMP was interfering in the human world. And to top it off, they did not even have the decency to wear disguises.
Do you have a human disguise?
Yeah, don't you? You three have been screwing around on Earth this whole time without human disguises?
Of course, they never say why they can't. Is it a power only a few people have access to? Can everybody in hell have one, but it's just really expensive? Like, argument's sake, I could obviously buy a new iPhone, but I don't have $2,000 to spare. Even Moxxie doesn't think to have one. Come on, Moxxie, it's just like Broadway. You get to dress up and pretend you're somebody else. With Luna, I get why she has one. She's likely in on current trends, and as a hellhound, she'd likely have to be in service to demon to go to the human world. I guess in Cherub they attempted to wear disguises, which bad or not, still got the job done, but why couldn't they keep this up? They never said why they couldn't.
No chance you can conjure us a couple of those, can you?
Sadly, no.
What, you can't memorize spells?
Oh, your memory's so great? What's his phone number?
Okay, that seems pretty meta. I remember it was a huge theory that Stolas has the grimoire memorized, but he just uses the book to get dates with Blitz. Guess this disproves it, maybe, does it? I take it he has the portal spell memorized, as it's probably the easiest for him and he uses it constantly, but anything else he probably isn't so good at.
Just get on with it!
Okay, I know this disguise thing is a bit of a rant once again, I apologize, but this adds up to a bigger problem which I will eventually get to. Blitz and Stolas can't just go look for Octavia because they have to diverge into several separate plots. And yes, the episode is a tad overstuffed because two of those plot lines we honestly did not need. To be fair, Lululand was the same way, and since this is a sequel episode, I see what they were going for. Still wish we got that scene of IMP fighting RoboFizz, or Millie and Moxxie asking, who is this guy and why does he want to hurt you? Anyhow, Octavia killed some dude named Brandon Rogers. Close enough. But this is bad news because it's just before he has to go do a guest spot on a stupid sitcom. Blitz is mistaken for the dude and forced to go along with it because he can't just kill him. It's not like it's his job to do it, and it's not like Stolas can't just use his powers to scare him off. He did before, and like before, it's a serious circumstance, so he would be well within his rights. Sorry, this just bugs me because earlier in the episode, the humans thought that IMP were normal people wearing demon costumes, which isn't out of the ordinary for a place like this, or most media for that matter.
Sick demon costume!
And yet Blitz, who is doing all he can to stay out of the public eye, has no problem going on what amounts to national television in little more than what he has on. Couldn't they go the Invader Zim route where somebody questions him? Like, Brandon, why is your skin red? Oh, you know, rosacea. or something like that. Truth Seekers spelled out the seriousness of the situation. People are onto IMP because they're so sloppy. You don't think they would have tried to be a little more careful? Stolas made the point he left the two agents alive because most people view demonic witnesses as lunatics.
They are seen as kooks. Kooks. Such a silly word.
Or that too, but I imagine most people would believe the word out of a full studio audience. You can't have your cake and eat it too, is what I'm trying to say. Even if that phrase makes no sense, because should you get to eat cake, it belongs to you. Thankfully, Luna is hot on the trail, actually doing everybody else's job. And this is a Millie and Moxxie video, so back to them. Millie and Moxxie try to find Octavia, but they get distracted. People keep asking Moxxie to buy their DVDs for outrageous prices, and he keeps holding Millie up because he thinks he's gonna be supporting up-and-coming artists.
Millie! We need money to pay this talented artist!
You can just give it back, Mox.
Look, Moxxie, I might not be a New Yorker, but I am a Norker, one syllable, and we're over the river. I know all of the scams, and I know how they're played. I hate to burst your bubble, but this right here is a scam. You're gonna buy that disc, you're gonna play it, and it's gonna be blank. Mox, you live in a big city in hell. How do you not know what a panhandler is? The pair even sing a song, which does not relate to the episode, move the plot in a meaningful way, and or tell us anything we don't already know. The song is about Millie and Moxxie being in love, and the sky is blue. This doesn't change anybody's mind or distract the studio audience long enough for Blitz and Stolas to escape, or remind Octavia that her parents used to be happy, as far as she knew, and prolongs the search more than anything. Say what you want about Lululand, but at least that subplot told us some stuff about Millie's family and showed her having interests beyond her husband and killing.
You really like this place, huh?
I love this place! My parents would bring me and my siblings here when they could swing it, money-wise.
They were at least doing their jobs. Blitz just told them they could take a break.
How about I take the first watch while you two have a little fun?
Thankfully, Luna tracks down Octavia and tells her that her father cares about her, blah blah blah, but Octavia could not see the meteor shower because of light pollution.
I spent all day looking for a place where I can see some dumb meteor shower, and all I get is this.
Ugh, that blows donkey boobies. I hear the Beetlejuice star is lovely this time of year, but I have more questions. Oh my god, me and my questions. I'm sorry, but this is a lore-heavy show. It's inevitable. Inevitable. What's Luna and Octavia's relationship like? Did they always know each other? Because here they act like they do. Did Blitz and Stolas introduce them? I could honestly see an episode where Stolas insists on a play date of sorts. Oh, Via has been so lonely since the divorce. Blitzy, don't you have a daughter? Stolas and Blitz did meet for a playdate, and Stolas, unfortunately, does treat Octavia like a baby, so it would make sense. They leave, Octavia makes up with her dad, and Millie and Moxxie head back to hell. Well, that was Millie and Moxxie. In my hidden review on Seeing Stars, people have said that Moxxie and Millie work as a couple, but on their own as characters, they can seem a little boring. Not that they don't have strong characters, but when you compare them to Stolas or Blitz, they can end up feeling a little tiresome or vanilla. And as for Seeing Stars, which should have been another emotional sequel episode, felt like a rehash of one of the show's best episodes. Going through this review, I think I know the problem. Allow me to give my own theory. Seeing Stars was a season 1 episode that never got made. Think about it. The lack of disguises or everybody feeling nonchalant. Outside of Stolas moving out Stella, this is something they would do in season 1. Or who knows, maybe this was meant to come later in the season, after their issues were resolved, but for whatever reason got switched in production order. I don't know. Who knows? I don't. Anyhow, see y'all in a year, even if it will only feel like 7 days.
mister.